What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. I got a little bit bored today. All I had to do was go out and do a quote and figured I'd go live with you guys. The main subject of today's live is where have your favorite YouTubers been? Where have all my favorite YouTubers been? And I'll answer that really quickly. Hopefully we get some folks coming in here and we'll be able to take some questions, a little bit of Q&A, if you will. So we got 6 folks in here already. Let's go into this live with my thoughts on Logger Wade. He uploaded today, and unfortunately, he lost a friend of his in a logging accident. The gentleman was out cutting timber and got hit by a tree. The man, unfortunately, I don't know his name. You guys can go over to Logger Wade's channel and watch the video. They are going to be helping with getting some donations together. The gentleman left behind a wife and 3 young kids, and he looked to be a fairly young guy himself. And I can totally understand, because my grandfather got killed in a logging or a tree cutting accident when my dad was 2 years old. So needless to say, I never got to meet him. And it always hits a little bit closer to home when somebody passes away in an accident as a result of being in the same industry or business that you're in. So Wade, man, my thoughts go out to you. I know you probably having a little bit of a tough time today, but he's his regular self. Wade is Wade, and him and mommy are going to be, again, working on helping to support, the wife of this gentleman and their kids. So you guys give me just a second. I'm going to have a friend come in here real quick. Let's see here. Y'all will be glad to see this individual come in with us. I think I've already got his email. Let's see. I'm not too good with all these electronical things. Y'all just bear with me here. Let's see, is that how I do this? I think it is. Let's try this. Now, let's see if he wants to come in here. I know he'll be glad to be a part of the conversation as we're having it. We'll give him a minute. But yeah, that's just a sad deal. That was Kelly. Let's wait for my friend to come in here. We'll give a few more folks time to come in, and we'll get on. I got a whole list of stuff to go over today. I'm really surprised I have 30 people in here already. You guys just hang out, let's go through some questions, give my friend time to come in. Eric Memna of Memna X, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. We're going to be going over some good things. A little bit of maybe go back over the sad news once we get our other host in here. But it's going to be a good day. Well, it actually looks like there might be some ice developing on the tree out there. It's like low 30s here, rain. They were calling for some freezing rain today. So hopefully not. I've got to go pick Emma up. She's going to be my little Valentine, hopefully, this weekend. I got to surprise Kelly when she came home yesterday. I had 3 balloons tied to me, and I had a giant box of chocolate. I think it was over 2 pounds of chocolate. And let's see, I got her a card. What else did I get her? I got her a flower, a white flower. She likes white flowers. So I made sure to cover all the bases this year. So fellas, be sure to treat that special lady to a Valentine. And girls, If you want to treat your man to a Valentine, treat him. Let's see here. Gamer, you don't hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? There's my buddy. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. I was just getting ready to go through some of the questions. Did you see Logger Wade's post this morning?
No, I just listened to you on it, so I didn't see it.
Yeah. Apparently, a friend of his, had a tree hit him, and
oh, really?
Yeah, and he passed away. So I was just telling everybody, if you want to go over and check out Logger Wade's channel, they're taking up donations and stuff to help them out.
Yeah, that's tough.
It stinks, man. I hate that I lost my grandpa before I was even born. Never got to meet him, but that's a tough deal, man. It's about like somebody getting run over by a dozer. That would hit me and you a little bit hard.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard last year, a guy around here. I don't know if it was around here, ran his son over with a dozer. That was bad.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's terrible. I'd say that'd be something that very few people could recover from.
Yeah, no, yeah,
that'd be awful.
That's my biggest fear. With my son, I taught him as a kid, listen, you don't, because I got all the equipment down there, and he comes running off the hill.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, listen, you stop. Always make sure you make eye contact with me, and that stuck with him. He always doesn't go near equipment until he sees my eyes, and I say, okay, come here, because that's my biggest fear. Because you don't see, when you're on a piece of equipment, you don't hear, you're looking around you all the time, but it just takes 1 second to get in your blind side, and you just keep going backwards.
Absolutely, man. That was one of my biggest things with Emma. Her whole life, parents that have the luxury of telling their kids 2 or 3 times not to do something or do something. When kids are around our stuff, we don't have that luxury. They got to listen the first time, or it could mean their life.
Right.
So I know you take your little dude along with you sometimes, and it's nice for you to be able to do that.
Right. I'm trying to get situated in this camera here. I'm all.
People probably prefer I wasn't even in it.
Nah. What's up, guys? Hey, Elite. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going up your way, Mike?
It's cold. 5 degrees today. I was going to start the dump truck up and move some equipment to this electric line I'm supposed to do, but it's cold. I actually caught, I was talking with the GC. I said, listen, we're on a steep hill. I was on it yesterday with metal tracks. I had a machine delivered, and I was sliding off like a toboggan. I said, what if we get a trencher and try to trench this? I said, I know a guy. So I called the Carmata today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get all of it?
I got a 2,000-foot electric line service to go in, blah, blah, blah. You want to trench it? And he just said his trencher won't work on dirt. It's only for rock. So
really?
I gave it a shot. Wheel? Yeah, the big wheel. Because I was like, you know what I mean? If that could get done in half the amount of time, we don't have to mess with excavators, and I don't even really have to do anything but film the big man,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would have thought that thing would pull dirt out too.
Yeah, I don't know. I figure it's probably about that wide. So, I think maybe I don't know. It doesn't have some trenchers have a thing where it picks it up, scoops, pushes it in something, and puts it over to the side. Yeah. That thing just blows. I don't know. It's not metal, I guess. So he says it would cave it in.
Yeah. What are you going to use to put it in then? Just dig a trench with that bucket?
We're just going to dig it with the 88.
Yeah. I like the ice ballet you were doing with the 321.
Yeah, right.
That was impressive.
I knew when I went up that steep part, I said, once I lift this bucket, she's going backwards. And then once the track starts spinning, there's no grip at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the driveway that will be my next driveway video coming out, it's a north-facing slope, so down at the bottom, it was just mud where the sun had hit, but you could see a perfect line, where it turned from mud to just ice.
Yeah.
So I had both types of video in there, man, and it was that job was a pain. If it'd been just perfect weather, it took me about 2 days, but I think I had equipment on it for about a week. So your froze about 4 feet thick up there.
Yeah, it's 3 foot down here, but where I was digging yesterday in the woods, it's only about 10 inches. So you get that overburden of the leaves, pine needles, whatever over the years, it insulates it, you know.
Yeah,
When I'm
that's
looking at you here, where's your screen? What are you looking at? You got the camera right on the laptop or something?
Yeah, I've got my screen is like right there.
Got you.
So I've got my laptop sitting in front of me, and in my hillbilly studio I got going on here. I did finally just give up, man. I went and got an Ethernet cable to hook up my internet.
Way better.
Way better. And I'm doing it like 720 right now. I don't know if 1080 would handle. I don't get angry a lot at all, but when I do, it's usually because of electronic problems.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
What do you what's the next job you got going on?
Here, Drew, Dominique, what's going on?
Dominique the dump truck driver.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to keep me on the comments.
How's that new truck treating you?
Man, that's pretty. What you get? A T800, 880?
880, I believe. Yeah.
That's what you got, isn't it?
800. Yep.
800.
Yep.
Now is 880 just a newer model of that?
They still make the 800 too. It's just a different model. So 880 just got a little different options, different setup. But yeah, they still make both models.
Yeah.
And it just depends what you want. I think the 880's cab's a little bigger, which is nice because my cab's for the leg room and push my all the way back. So if I was another 100 pounds, I'd be rubbing the steering wheel, you know.
Well, it's got like what, over 600 horsepower?
Yeah, it's a beast, that's for sure.
That's crazy, man. When you get off of gravel, because you got that much power, does it break traction too easy?
No.
That's good.
You're in the right gear, you know what I mean? Just keep your gears good and you're good. And then you got the axles you can lock in, and then you got the you can lock both axles, and you got a power divider to lock the rear ends and all that. So
I don't like to turn when you got it all locked in.
No. And sometimes that hurts you. If you lock the rear ends in, where you got posi, it's a full lock and it's wet, she'll slide.
Oh, so yeah.
Lock the power divider where you just leave it both limited slip, but have both axles locked in, it works better. So you got to play with that too. The way when you get stuck, you learn that stuff because you don't put it in unless you're stuck.
I wouldn't even know how to behave up there this time of year. It's so different than down here. We don't get a good freeze. Everything is freezing and thawing. It's breaking it up, and it's mud everywhere. That's all it is, man. Like that driveway I was talking about, man, it had probably about that much mud, and I just ended up just taking the mud off and putting it on the side and regrading it. So we got a bunch of good people in here, a lot of familiar faces. If you guys are not familiar with The Dirt Boss, y'all got to check his channel out. I'd say you probably recognize most people in here. Y'all be sure to comment and let us know who you are and where you're from. But Dirt Boss and Elite Earthworks, both of them are similar channels. They're just better at what they're doing than I am.
No, don't sell yourself short. Come on.
It's killing me, man. This winter, man's got you slowed down. And I think I probably got way more excited than I should have when you popped that 321 video up. I was like, finally, I'm getting a break.
Yeah.
We got Skid Steer Drew in here, YouTuber.
Yeah, Brent King here. He won the hat that I gave away.
Brent deserves it, man.
Oh, I know. That's what I said. I screamed like, yeah, Brent, because it was fun. Yeah. He's always on. He does great comments. He's on everybody's channel, and he's you like to see someone win that participates in the channel, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't even hear his last name, but when you said Brent, I was hoping it was Brent King because he is just a dedicated viewer, man.
Yeah. So how close is he to you? Because he's in North Carolina.
I think he's out toward the coast.
Greensboro, I think it was.
Yeah. So from here, that's about 150 miles.
All right.
Banner Trucking number 2. Good morning to you, Jeffrey Livingston. He's almost always in here. Pat Hamer, good morning from California. Good morning to you, man. I had to pull that California sticker off the hood of my 750. I doubt it'll ever go out there. Arlo Pryor, good morning. Heavy Metal Farms, Richard Hughes, how's it going? Eco Land Management, LLC. Let's see, what is that? Oh, Old Fort, North Carolina. That's just down the mountain from me. How far are you from me, Mike?
Me and you? 10.
Hours.
My buddy's going there right now. He's going to the hell, because I was going to go and we were going to go on our dirt bikes, bring them down and ride out of track there. But it was so cold that he didn't bother bringing it down. But he's in right next to the Swamp Loggers Summit. I think was it Summit? No, starts with an
Summit.
Supply, North Carolina.
I'm not familiar with that one. They're out on the coast.
Yeah. It might be by Brent too. It's I'm trying to think of the name of it, but he's heading down there now.
Yeah,
and it takes about 10 hours.
What's that?
It takes about 10 hours.
10 hours? That's a pretty good road trip.
I was gonna go with dirt or full tilt grade and down to Dirt Perfects. They hit me 24 hours before, and I was this close to going. And I have a dentist appointment today that I've been waiting on, and I don't want to reschedule it. So that was in there, and just Full Tilt's house was 4 hours for me. So then I was like, I had to leave here at 1 a.m, go down to Full Tilt, and then another 10 to 12 hours to Dirt Perfects. I was like, man, I'm going to be beat. And I was like,
yeah,
would have been a good time.
How'd it feel lifting them batteries on your elbows?
Yeah, no, that was bad. It was a little sore.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that was my little excavator's got one of those big batteries. It's just like 3 batteries in one.
Yeah.
And of course, you beat me to that video. I had to jump start it up in Burnsville the other day. I guess just the cold killed it, and I don't know if it's going to be worse. Well, it started fine after it warmed up, but I probably ought to just go ahead and swap the batteries like you did.
Yeah, when you got to jump them more than twice, I mean, I do the charge here and there if it's in the yard or jump it in the yard. But if I'm going to a job with it, I can't stand not having to start. You know what I mean? Because the jump pack, you'll get a couple hits out of it, and then you got to recharge that. And at that point, it's not, you're losing money, So it's cheaper to put batteries in it for me, That big battery is expensive, They're $300 battery, that big one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How many batteries has your dump truck got?
3. They're Group 31s.
Yeah.
Batteries.
Let's see here. Jeffrey Livingston says, "What's up, Dirt Boss?" Let's see. I just don't want to get too far there. Yeah, Mr. Elite Earthworks in the house. I wonder if he's gotten snowed out. What do you think about the big Takeuchi excavators, Mike?
I never got to run one. There's a dealer here, the same as the Komatsu dealer. It's the same exact dealership. So they're trying to get me in a skid steer. They're like, you got to run one of these. I'm like, yeah, I know how that goes. You run it, you love it, you want it. Anything newer, you're going to say, this is awesome. On most of the cases.
Yeah.
But, they're obviously a good machine because we got, firsthand reviews with Elite and other YouTubers that are on here. So you can't beat that, you know what I mean? Having a review like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a lot better. There's Ginger Tom. Welcome to the broadcast, man. I'd say it's a lot better balanced, not being like a non-Z. Let's see, what is it? 3125 or 2150. That's what it is. I'd say it's a lot better balanced than the Yanmars. The Yanmars are terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Really? Yeah. I mean, Let's Dig's got his, and obviously he operates it good, but I didn't know, I know the cab was tight on his. And yours is a little bigger. Yours is bigger than his.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're saying the boom on that is, it's just not balanced, right?
The boom on it's huge. I think it's got the same, mine's got the same boom as a 100, and it's, well, with the additional counterweight, they weigh the same, but now like, I think the 55s and smaller, Yanmar is good, but the boom on mine's so heavy and, got a thumb, and, with mowing that I do a lot, you're outreached a lot the whole time. But as far as digging, it's okay. It'll handle a 3 foot, and my tilt bucket's a 4 foot, but it's not as deep. But man, I already dented that tag bucket. I put it in about that big, man. That broke my heart. I was just like, for real? I ain't even got going yet, man. So I don't think that the body of it's made out of very, very thick metal. I think it's like probably 1/4 inch. So I think I'm going to weld some like 3/8 AR400 strips along it.
Yeah.
I think it'll wear a lot better.
Yeah, my bucket that I bought, that tilt bucket's all made of AR400. The whole bucket, even where the upper part where the pins go through.
Oh, yeah.
I bought it because it's tough, because I've bent buckets. I used to have a 200 Cabelco, and I used to take the grading buckets and hook on a stump or frost and pull and just put a V right in them buckets.
Yeah. Now, what brand is your tilt bucket?
It's called a Diesel. They're a company here out of Syracuse, and they're starting to spread out, shipping them all over the place. You see them at auctions all the time. I don't know if they mass produce them or what, but so far, I bought the same bucket on my 160. I got the Diesel on that, and that's a 4-foot bucket. And that, I've hooked on some heavy stuff with that, and seems to hold up so far.
Yeah, I guess you grease that bucket every day, just like everything else, or.
Yeah, I don't use it every day, so I grease it when it needs it.
Just when you use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like the Air Elite Earthworks saying the 2150 weighs 36,000 pounds. To look at it, I wouldn't think that, but I haven't stood next to one.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look like it weighs that much. That's a heavy machine right there.
Yeah.
That's about as much as a 160. The 160 is 37,500, 38,000.
What's the biggest? Like I'm thinking about upgrading, and I'll probably not go bigger than like a tandem dump truck. What would you say is like the biggest excavator that I can haul on just a tandem, like say a 20-ton trailer comfortably in mountains?
Yeah, I mean a tandem and a triaxle, you'll haul the same. You know what I mean? It's not gonna, as long as your rear ends are 46,000, you're good. Oh, you're like all the tandems here run more weight than a triaxle truck will, because New York's kind of messed up. So these tandem trucks here, they make them longer. So your bridge weight is, you can haul more weight. So it goes on your distance between front axle and rear axle. It's called your bridge law. Yeah. So that goes on your tonnage, and you just, get it specced out with heavy rear ends and stuff, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. You're closer up to Canada. I've been dying to know why their dump trucks are set up like the 2 axles at the front toward the cab, and then they got 2 at the back. Do you know why that is?
No, it's for, I don't know, but we have a couple trucks like that here too that do deliveries. Yeah. And they say they're just awesome to get into spots. So I don't know. I really don't know much about them trucks.
Do both of those front axles steer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. I guess the weight's distributed.
You can take that truck and move it. You can move that whole front end like a fork truck. You know what I mean? It would just scoot over.
That'd be handy for sure, man.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Let's see. Jeffrey Livingston. I just demoed a TR340B case. It is very well balanced and got plenty of power. Got a lot of room in the cab. I haven't dealt with the case much. Have you, Matt?
No, I never. We got a big dealer here too. Like that's one thing about here. We got such a population. We got every make and model as far as equipment. There's good dealer support.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of case backhoes around here, a lot of case equipment. But yeah, I've looked at them to buy them here and there. I never owned one.
Yeah, I've actually got a little pond dredging coming up. I'm going to be living that Let's Dig 18 life.
Nice.
It's a whole 40 feet across. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know how I'm gonna reach it. Like I've got, with my grading bucket, it sticks out a little bit farther. So I've got like 20. I need to measure it, but like 23 to 25 feet of reach. So, but the other side of the pond, they're not wanting it tore up. So it's either rent an excavator that reaches farther, or take a couple of scrap I-beams I've got and weld me like a T, something that I can. I've been thinking about making like a boom pole anyway. So I was thinking about getting, I think Yanmar uses like a 50 millimeter pin and just weld me together, quick attach, and make a boom where I can just pull that mud to me.
Yeah, like a dredge. Sure.
Yeah. I haven't done like big ponds. I've done mostly like little fish ponds and stuff. So I'm kind of debating on like draining the pond, I think it's almost totally full of mud. So there's not just a lot of water sitting there. And I think it's like, they said it was 6 feet deep. So I'm going to drain it like a month beforehand. And I've got to move it, pretty close to on site. So I'm not that versed on ponds any more than like watching you guys on YouTube. But
yeah, you definitely want to drain it.
What's that?
You definitely want to drain it. Don't mix the mud in the water because you'll just fight that thing forever. Drain it right down more than you need, and any fish or anything will go right to the deepest point. You won't hurt nothing.
Yeah.
So the quickest way to
drain it.
What, to drain it?
Like after you drain it, like for the mud to not be just liquid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, to fill it back up?
No. I mean, like it's so small and it's so shallow, I'm going to be able to dig a hole and just use my bucket to bail the water out of it. And then once I break the dam, I was planning on, they've just got a pipe at the top of the dam. It's not a leveler that goes to the bottom. So I'm going to dig it out and just let it drain for a while. I was just trying to pick your brain as far as like how long after I break the dam and I can get a little trench where it's just essentially a creek again, run through the middle.
Yeah.
How long it'll take it to
drain fast. Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I could start pulling material out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty quick. Okay, cool. I didn't know because I'd heard of people making the comment like letting it drain and sit for months. I didn't know if that was really necessary.
No way. You're pulling the plug on a pond, unless you're talking a lake, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But a regular sized pond, it will drain fast. I mean, I did one where I don't know if you saw the video where I knocked that retaining wall down and made back a lawn. I pumped that thing for like 5-6 days with a pump because I didn't want to pull the plug because they were so worried about their eco life and the fish and all that in there. So I decided to pump it.
Yeah.
I pumped it for 6 days, but you're fighting that. You get one rainstorm and everything you pumped out for 6 days is right back instantly,
Yeah. That was a pretty big project. Out there where you're at, do they have, like, when you bust concrete up, does it have to be busted up so small before you can bury it? Do they have a real...
No, not really. It all depends on what town you're in, or if it was working for a homeowner, you get away with more stuff. If you're working for something being commercially done, then there's going to be more engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Asheville's picky just about it. If you're in the city limits, man, we can't even trim. I want to say that if a limb is 3 inches or more, we have to have permits, or it's like $1,000 a day and $1,000 per tree.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. They are picky about everything. I mean, it's you really can't do anything without permission. I think, like in city limits, if you disturb more than 500 square feet, you have to have a disturbance permit, which I don't know if that's kind of typical for anywhere, but
here, what do you mean, disturb the land?
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading the comments, so I missed it. Yeah, you could disturb up to here 1 acre of material before you need a fill permit or anything, and some towns are 2 acres. So
yeah, I think outside of Asheville city limits, it is an acre, and I think you have to just like totally have the ground tore up and no vegetation or anything.
Yeah, it seems like Let's Dig. They could do everything. I thought North Carolina. I mean, you could burn all them fires and do all that. It's tough to burn fires up here.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna get this comment here. He asked about Manka Thumb's Sparkies Garage. Yeah, I have a Manka Thumb on my 160. They're okay. I mean, he's got a lot better. When I first bought mine, I think he was just getting into that. So I think his stuff has gotten better. Just triple check everything that you want. Mark's the owner. He'll talk with you.
Let's see. Yeah, if you see a comment pop up, just tell me shut up, Mike. I get to chatting with you, and I kind of lose sight of what I'm doing. Captain Patch asks about the JD. I seen John Deere 80G. I've run a few John Deeres, but none. I think the biggest one was like a 35 or something, just the minis. But Mike, you want to weigh in on this one?
the John Deere 80. Yeah. I never had a John Deere 80. I mean, basically the 80s and 80. You know what I mean? They're all gonna have their same scenarios, weight class. Every excavator is going to operate different. I don't care if they're all brand new or all old ones on your pilot controls. Each manufacturer just runs the fluid differently, whether it's either hydraulic over hydraulic or electric over hydraulic. So like the newer machines are electric over hydraulic, where they actually electric connection goes to everything electrical to the valves, where before it would be fluid up through and you're actually pushing fluid. I like that better because you actually could feel the machine.
Absolutely.
Electric one, you're just pushing this and you're hoping that and some machines do have a delay. So
yeah, I definitely would like to be able to feel what I'm doing.
Right. I mean, my older Komatsu, I like the way I had a 75 UU-2. I like that machine better than this 88 I had, which the 75 is the 88 now. Yeah. But it just you felt in your fingertips what that thing was doing, and you could control it better than what these electric over hydraulics are doing, you know?
Yeah.
I think perfect. That's what his issue was with the Volvo versus the Hyundai and his John Deere that he had. He couldn't get used to that feeling, that delay, and it really messes with you until once you become once you're an operator, after a certain amount of time in the machine, you'll handle it. But
yeah, I would say the only people that would really benefit from electric over hydraulic, like you had nerve issues in your elbows. I had to have carpal tunnel surgery, and any kind of repetitious movement like that, or really anything, my hand would either start throbbing or it'd go numb.
Yeah.
So any little bit of resistance, I think mine developed from running a chainsaw, and the way that I hold a steering wheel driving a truck, I held it in the same position every time. So I guess the electric over hydraulic doesn't really have any resistance at all, hardly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even the hydraulic over hydraulic it's not like you're pushing. It's not like I don't know if you would know a difference in the pushing of the pilots, but the difference in the way that boom reacts to what you're doing. So, and there's more to it than just when I'm saying electric over hydraulics. It's just each machine has a different system of way they run their hydraulics, and it makes a difference in how they're controlled, for sure.
Yeah. At least that's the reliability of them.
Right.
Do you think that I guess electric over hydraulic wouldn't have the wear that the valve bodies do of the standard, I guess you would call it, just the hydraulic?
Yeah, well, anything electric, you know how that goes. Sensors, this, that, and more money. You can't really fix it yourself. You know what I mean? Have a computer come in and do the whole deal. At least some machines, like my Komatsu and my Koboko, both have inboard diagnostics where I can go into the computer and check all my pressure settings. If something's not right, and I got the book, and okay, this thing's supposed to read 2150 at full turn, and it's only reading 1600, I know something's wrong. You know what I mean? So then you could go to that where that solenoid is and either swap it out with another one or check it. So some like John Deere, you have to have a laptop plug in to the machine, and they have to come out and read it. So all that kind of stuff, if all adds up if you don't know how to do it yourself.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. There's our buddy Dirt Brute in the house. He'd probably been in here and I just missed it somehow.
What's up, Dirt Brute?
Says I ran a JD75, too big to be a mini and too small to be a big boy, and won't lift precast tanks for septic very well. I know my 80 picks up. Well, I'll take the buckets off and just use a lift strap. It'll lift a 4,500 pound. You call them mafia blocks, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the waste concrete blocks. It'll lift it and stretch it out pretty good, especially if I can get over the blade. But how much does one of those precast tanks weigh? Do you know?
Oh, a septic tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to lift it with these machines. No. They're heavy.
Oh, really? Yeah. Do they have rebar in them, like reinforcing?
Wire mesh.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're heavy. Yeah, I don't even think my 160 would drop one in a hole. We just always have a truck come and then they put them in. But we order 15 100-gallon tanks, so they're built, and they're the ones I order are thicker than like a standard tank.
Yeah. Do y'all only use concrete up there, or do you use plastic too?
I only use concrete, and there's guys like Jesse Muller. He uses poly. The poly's around the same price. You know what I mean? It's just more. You could handle a poly one. You know what I mean? Yeah. I usually use what's spec'd on the print. You know.
Yeah.
That way I'm covered. If I decide to use a poly because it's easier on me, and it's not, and this septic field backs up or something, they can come right back to me and say, "Well, you put this poly in there, and we're calling for concrete." You know?
Yeah. Is it your inspectors that tell you which tank?
The engineer who engineers the system, he builds it, and then it does get inspected by the either the Board of Health comes out with the engineer, or some towns it's just the local inspector inspects it.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I miss a bunch of them? No, I didn't. What are some good ways to get your name out there when you first start other than Facebook? How'd you get so famous, Mac?
I never had luck with Facebook. You know, I've only been on Facebook 2 years.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been on it. My wife's been on it since 2008, since they started, but I was just never on it. And I don't I have the business page on there, and I was putting pictures and doing all that, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't, I've got maybe 2 calls or people message me through Facebook on that business. I don't know if it's that good. How about you?
It's what you put into it. I think the best thing, you know, with like Facebook, you're constantly having to pump more and more money into it, but like your dump truck is one of the most beautiful rolling billboards I've seen. And, you know, my dump truck, it's a rolling billboard. You pay for the decals one time, and they're the new decal material. It's like a vinyl, I think. It doesn't fade hardly. It doesn't peel off very much. You know, I mean, do you have somebody call you very often and say, "Hey, I'm buying one of your trucks," or anything like that?
Yeah, they usually call me and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know you're dropping rocks on the road."
You owe me a windshield.
Yeah, my older trucks. I want to let you know your driver's dropping rocks. They go, "Yeah, you're talking to him, buddy. Back off my butt."
Yeah, I'll get on to them when they get back to the office.
Yeah.
That's me. They'll say, "Well, I'll see one of your trucks." Yep, that's me. Luckily, I've only been accused of busting one windshield in my life, and the rest of them.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was setting me up. You know, he was.
It's like, I don't know who put that rock on my apron, but it wasn't me.
He rode me for 2 miles, and I kept going in the mirror, back off, back off, back off. So he was right on me, right on me. I'm like, is this guy for real? So I pull in off this back road. He comes right in, and he starts screaming at me, "You broke my windshield! You broke!" I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back down, bud! Back down!" I chased him back to his car. He got in. And I just looked at the windshield, and you could tell it was an old crack. He was just trying to set me up for a free windshield, you know?
Yeah.
And he called the cops. I gave him my address. Cops called me. "Yeah, it's all set. That was old, this." And I said, "Yeah, I figured."
Oh, yeah.
But that was the only time with that.
I had one guy, I was running a forestry mulcher, and the dude called, and he's like, "You busted my taillight out. You've dented my fender." And this is like the day after I'd been working. And let's face it, stuff doesn't fully rust through in one day. I was like, "Come on, man!" It's like if you're gonna try to pull something, you could at least try to be good at it. So, Elite Earthworks, all of Takeuchi has hydraulic pilot control, so that means that it's got valve bodies and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the hot setup.
Yeah.
Sure. It lets you become the machine, I think, a little more. Yeah. And I'm not sure if this 88 Komatsu, it's just different running. I don't know. I didn't really look into it, what it has.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely not to my favor. Like when I get out of my Kobelco and get into that, you got to almost relearn. Okay, you know, when you're pulling the bucket to you and you're trying to grade the bottom of a ditch or something, it just acts different than that Kobelco. So you got to relearn it. Then after 10 minutes, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's, you know, whatever." But
yeah. Did you see Taylor on Ken White trying out that new cat?
No, I saw a video. His last video was when It might have been when he was doing, yeah, but I didn't watch the whole thing. But
yeah, it's crazy, man. Like they could set the parameters of like the maximum height you could lift the boom, and you probably know all this, but it amazed me, man. Like he set the bucket and pulled on the one handle as if he was going to grade the bottom of a ditch, and man, it moved that bucket toward him like perfectly level. It was amazing, man. And seeing that, I was like, well, maybe Cat is worth the money.
No, they do have that. Like my Komatsu, the PC75 UU used to have that. So if I was under a soffit of a house, I could pull it up, hit the button, and then it would stop right there. And that machine was a 98.
Really?
It had that, but it was a it was a Komatsu made in Japan. So they call them gray market machines here.
Yeah.
And they're just so much above technology over there than what we are here. That machine was nice like that, but the thing I didn't like about that, everything was in Chinese in Japanese in the manual or in the monitor, so I couldn't really set the heights because I couldn't read it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So in the 90s, they were setting motion limits on those things.
Yeah.
And they like just now starting to do it in the States, or am I just way behind?
No, they're just coming out with it more now, probably because it's, when they first come out with it, it was so expensive and it's just the way it is. And that's like that tilt rotator. I'm sure you get the comments too. Well, why don't you buy a tilt rotator, this or that? But we'd be forced to buy one if everybody had one. And that was what we had to do to keep up with the competition. But nobody has them here. And where they come from overseas, they've had them for 20 some years. And so everybody has one. So you got to have one.
Oh yeah.
So it's not here yet,
Yeah. So we got Elite Earthworks chiming in saying word of mouth is the best. I know I've been around markets in small towns and then bigger cities, and in small towns, this is IMO, in my opinion, in my experience, which may not be anybody else's, but like smaller towns, your reputation and word of mouth is more effective than like big cities where there's a ton of us and there's a blue million people. And in the bigger cities, it seems like people are moving in and moving out so fast that nobody has time to learn you.
Right.
So, I don't know. How's it up around Rensselaer?
Yeah. So we got small towns around here, but there's just the small towns. There's so many people that it's just, there's no really like small town where everybody knows you, but like where I grew up where I went to high school, that's a small town, but there's probably 30 excavators in that town. And that's no lie. So everybody knows somebody, so it's, unless you direct connect with them, they're not going to hire you. So it's a lot of competition up here in the excavation world. I don't know. It definitely is.
Yeah. Mr. Boy Tono Excavation. I don't do any advertising anymore. Word of mouth from previous customers is best. As far as word of mouth, and this is my experience and talking to other people in the area, it takes about 5 years. Well, like my favorite thing is a driveway. And if in my area, unless it's just super steep or a swampy area, you add material about every 4 to 5 years. So every 4 to 5 years, you have more like actual grading than just scraping the driveway. So from the time you start, it'll take you 5 years of constant work and bringing in customers before you start seeing those return customers calling you up. And if you don't do something to stay in front of your customers, we send Christmas cards and stuff. If you don't stay fresh on their minds, they're going to forget about you. And then when they go to search Google or whatever for somebody, they're going to call whoever pops up first because people are lazy. That's my thoughts on it.
With the internet, it's like, you know what I mean? They could get estimates so easy. It's not like it was back in the day. Yeah. If they wrote your name and number down, put it on in their favorite draw. Oh, let's call Mike or Todd back to fix our driveway. It's 5 years now. You know what I mean? Those days are over. Everything's touch of a finger, and they'll get 5 quotes or more. And unless you already did a job for them, you know what I mean? Then obviously you're going to come back to them. But for new work, people get a lot of quotes these days.
Yeah, that's around this area. The worst business to be in is tree service. Everybody gets 6 quotes, and they'll go with, just whoever's cheapest. It doesn't matter who knows how to prune a tree properly or anything. I had a tree service for a little while till Kelly grounded me. So, it was a hard one being, but if you go to Boone, North Carolina, you name your price and you're pretty well hired.
Yeah.
So,
did you climb trees?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was a fool. Yeah, I was a climber for a little. I did it for a few years, and I really enjoyed it. But it wasn't worth Kelly worrying herself to death about it. She watched me climb one time. I did a job pro bono for her best friend and her husband. That was the last time I got to climb. And it went well. So, but again, all it takes is 1 second and you're injured for life.
Oh, you're not kidding.
So it's probably best, that, it happened that way. Skid Steer Drew, guys, we got like 60 people in here. So anybody, Skid Steer Drew, he's got a YouTube channel of his own, and he's trying to build his audience, and every video is getting better and better, just like every YouTuber. We all started out, and he's getting to that point where he's a lot of fun. And he just uploaded a video working his Cat 303.5. I ran one of those. A customer bought the machine, but was he was afraid to run it on the slope that he's needing to pull stumps, so he hired me to go run it. And I'll give it to it. It was a smooth machine. It was pretty solid. Have you run a machine that small, Mike?
What size was it?
303.5.
Yeah, no, I've rented the Cats that small.
Yeah.
Any machine will get the job done. It's just going to take how long? You know what I mean? It's just, people say, oh, will this dig? Sure, it's going to dig. You can dig with a teaspoon if you want.
Yeah. That's exactly right. He says he really wants an inch con to get ahead if the competition here. Yeah, man, I tell you what, I am loving my tilt bucket. That is a life changer. That's amazing. Did I even say that right, Mike? Incon?
Yeah.
Incon. I can't pronounce anything right.
Yeah, once those things come over here, then the price will drop a little bit once everybody gets them. Right now, they're just $60,000, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Who does them? Who has one here is Dirt Ninja. Yeah, he's got one.
I've watched him a couple of times. His videos have slowed down a lot, and that what this stream was going to be about. I guess you can touch on that real quick. The skinny of it is that most bigger YouTubers aren't uploading right now. Well, like me and you, it's slowed down because our work is slowed down and we can't put stuff out. But the bigger YouTubers, I think it's just, YouTubers get paid so much per 1,000 views or per view. And this time of year, the pay is way down. So everybody's kind of banking their videos. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, it is definitely down. It brings the creator down and everything else. Obviously when everything's up and you're doing great, your motivation is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I know December mine shot up and then it kind of slowed down. And it's not YouTube's fault. It's the fact that people aren't paying to have their little ads run.
Right. Right.
Revenue down.
They're not the whole presidential year and that's it screws everything up. So I think once everything gets ironed out, it'll get back to normal, hopefully. And I'm just waiting for the next push on my channel. It's like, it's trickling now. It's just in the trickle effect. You get that. I had that big surge from 8,000 to say 14,000. It was like boom, and then now it's been trickling. But obviously, we're happy with it's more than ever expected.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think my goal, me and Kelly were like crossing our fingers and hoping to get to 8,000 subscribers by the beginning by January 1st.
Right,
and it shot up really quickly, and I think it's probably because most advertisers really push a lot of money into YouTube in December. So there was a growth there. And I had one video that went pretty wild. It shot up with views, and it was being promoted a lot. It only had like a 2.5% click-through rate for people who don't know what that means. It's like every time our thumbnail is shown, the little picture with our video, every time it's clicked, that's a click-through. So that is how that works. Alex Outdoors, how are you doing, buddy? He's been working on his logo with me, and he's got a little channel as well. If y'all have a YouTube channel, just comment YouTube, and me or Mike will give you a shout out here and hopefully get you a subscriber or two. I don't even know if I might. No, I'm caught up. Did I miss any here, Mike?
Dirt Brute, he's got a channel. Everybody check him out. He's trying to get monetized. So in order to get monetized, which you start making revenue off of YouTube, it's just like pennies coming from the sky. It's nothing major, like unless you're a superstar, 1 in a million. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
He's trying to get monetized, and you got to have 1,000 subscribers now to get monetized. I think it was about 4 years ago. You didn't have to. I think you only had to have 300 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they made it harder, which is good. It keeps kind of, you know what I mean? It's not good when you're trying to get there, but it took me a year to get monetized. And some people, obviously get monetized quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But,
I think my favorite, they're YouTube creators, which is people who make the videos that teach other creators. And I watch Nick Nimmin a lot. I don't know if you watch.
Yeah, I've seen him.
He's a good one, and I like Brian G. Johnson. They give information that's good for any type of a channel, and for people who are on the fence of starting a YouTube channel, there is an audience for everybody. You could have the worst personality in the world, and there'd still be people who loved you for who you are.
Sure.
So it's definitely what's been the hardest part about YouTube for you, Mike?
Honestly, the hardest thing is the first getting monetized, getting videos out there, and the first couple months of doing them, you're like, why am I spending hours and hours and hours? Who am I spending hours for? Is this worth it? I'm not getting any kind of money, and I've got thousands of dollars in not only just equipment like GoPros, stands, your computer. I had to get a new computer that could handle the software of everything. So I got thousands of dollars invested, and there's no return. And you're like, man, is it, it went, like I said, a year went by and you're getting 300 views per video. And it's like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden some things happen. And I guess what really keeps you going is people interacting with you with the comments, and you get, even if it's 10 people that consistently come back, you build relationships with them, and it's like, this is cool, because without the YouTube, you wouldn't even know, these guys, I wouldn't know you without YouTube,
That's exactly right. You do make a lot of friends, that's for sure, and a lot of people who are in the same industry. I think the first time I had to work up and get myself halfway together before I could hit record on myself the very first time. And I think I almost had a panic attack. Live streaming is infinitely more difficult.
Yeah. When I went live a month ago for the first time, I almost literally got up and walked out of the room. I started sweating. I go, I don't hear nobody, but I see the comments, and I said to my head, I go, wait a minute, I'm the voice. I got to talk, and I'm not the fastest reader. And I'm like, holy smokes, this is bad. And then after, it took me, 10 minutes to start to settle down, but I had those butterflies so bad. I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah, my first one, it is the same thing. It was just like, I didn't have a list of little ideas, if there was a dull moment. And like, as soon as like the comments, I went through them, and I didn't have anything to say, man. It was like a sudden little panic mode. And it's kind of like, you got, well, like right now we got 69 people who are staring at us, and it's like, I had to tell myself, it's okay to have a little bit of dead air. They're going to hang out. Kind of like when you were coming on this feed, I wasn't worried about just jabbing the whole time until I got you in here. I'm just like, well, everybody bear with me.
Yeah.
The people that really want to see us are, they're going to hang out. They're probably like us, don't have much else to do.
I hear you, Rocky. Calling me dirtbag. I said in one of my live feeds that I called my buddy, because my buddy was trying to get a channel, and I was just busting that he was going to get a channel. He works for me here and there, and he's another excavator.
Yeah.
And, he's like, what should I name myself? And I said, name yourself Dirtbag. And then so he ended up coming up with the name. He thinks he's all that, so he come up with the name Dirt Sexy. So that's his name. Comments.
Wasn't it? So as Rocky did he have his name as Dirt Sexy?
No, that isn't him. Rocky's just a guy that watches us.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I saw somebody on your live feed the other day that was Dirt Sexy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's my buddy. We went to kindergarten all the way up through the Dirt Sexy. He's funny.
Yeah, man. So we got Sparkies Garage. Is that somebody you know, Matt?
Say it again.
Sparkies Garage. Is that somebody you know?
Yeah, I've seen the name Sparkies Garage for sure.
Okay. He says, I've been doing YouTube vids for about 15 years, just shy of 13 million views and almost 18,000 subs. Subs are super hard to get. There's no doubt about it. That's a fact. I know what it is. You got somebody on your channel you gave a shout out the other day he does cars, builds cars. Wasn't it you?
Yeah. Oz Stars Cars.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he just started coming over to the channel, so he gave me my first super chat, and then I shout him out, and then I go over when people say they got a channel, I go over check them out and stuff, subscribe. Because a lot of times you don't know, what I mean? Someone will be following you for 6 months, and you don't even know they got subs or 10,000 subscribers or even 2,000 subscribers, and so you click on it, and then you go, oh, and then you feel like a jerk not subscribing. You're like, man, I'm so sorry I haven't been over to subscribe. But if they don't say, hey, I'm a creator too, you wouldn't know. We can't check every icon that we see. When I first started and there was only a certain amount of people in there, I'd go and check to see if they had a channel. But once you get so many people in there every day, it's hard to not only remember who's who, but keep up with it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We'll put in about 5 more minutes here if you're cool with it, Mike.
Yep. I'm good. I got to eat lunch.
Finish these comments out. Dirt Brute. I'm big into cryptocurrency, and those guys get subscribers so fast it's crazy. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
That's out of my wheelhouse right there. Sparky, I'm camera nervous too. Just had to convince myself that just because you record it doesn't mean you have to post it. Also, editing helps. That's a fact. You can editing the being a fool part out.
Right.
I have to do all that. Let's see here. Oh, you got to smile, man, but that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, I thought he was just calling names. I'm just a guy. Wendell Hopkins, he's one of my favorites too. He comments a whole lot. And I think I've seen him on your channel, Matt.
No, I haven't seen that flag. No, I haven't. So Wendell, get your butt over here.
That's right. Yeah, everybody you need to, and it's not just Dirt Boss, it's Dirt Boss, Masonry, and Excavating.
Yeah, you can just type in Dirt Boss. It pops up, though. The thing about the Dirt Boss, not to get sidetracked, but it's like if you type in Dirt Boss just on Google, it's a transformer, like one of those transformer deals. And he actually got established a week before my channel got established. The same week we both named Dirt Boss, but obviously a transformer's got more power in the world than I do. So I didn't know if that was hurting my channel having that name,
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's real catchy, man. Did you get a hold of my buddy that does the graphics?
Oh, yeah. I was starting to draw some stuff up. Look at, there's my excavator.
Hey, you drew that?
Yeah.
You're talented, man.
So I was just showing him some ideas I wanted, you know what I mean? And he seems cool. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I told my mom, everybody's on a budget. I don't want to just for a banner blow tons of money. But
oh no, when I end the broadcast, we'll chat a little bit.
All right.
I'll fill you in. He's super reasonable, and I need to give him a shout out, man. I mean, it's not it's just in the few hundreds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's super cool, man. And like if you pay, he will change it an infinite number of times until it's perfect for you.
Nice.
He's a super cool guy. So up on the screen here, did I spell everything right? Yep. That's the Dirt Boss Masonry and Excavating. If you are not subscribed to my pal Mike here, you should be, because I'd say you do a lot of the similar stuff, you know, just on a bigger, your jobs are usually bigger than mine, and I don't do septic work.
Yeah. I mean, once you do one septic, they're all the same. It's, you know, it's easier with two guys for sure. You know, me, when I had Miko with me, we could bang out a septic in one day. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
So you could make money doing it for sure.
Now, like the last one you did, it didn't look like it was real deep, but did those the drain lines, did they not freeze up?
No, I had that question the other day. A guy from Canada, or I don't know if he was from Canada. He said, "Hey, with minus 30 degrees, will they freeze up?" But no, the fluid in there doesn't freeze. No septic freezes. So
it's too acidic.
Yep.
In your bodies and stuff.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yep. So tanks won't freeze or nothing.
No, tank will never freeze. That's why even if like out here, the snow is actually thinner, because the methane that comes up out of the gases on the lawn, it's never no frost there, never no nothing. It's just always heat. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, and it was neat to me because like we don't have those issues like you were talking about earlier about as far as the ground freezing out in the open air 3 or 4 feet deep, and then in the woods not freezing but a foot or whatever. Down here, I would say that I've never experienced digging more than a 4-inch thick crust.
Really? Yeah. 4 inches you could break right through,
Yeah, and it's definitely, and I've talked to a lot of old timers, man, it does not snow down here like it used to. It doesn't get cold and stay cold. It's constant warming and cooling, up until I guess mostly through December till this past week. It stayed, the highs were in the 50s every day. And then this past couple of days, we got almost like 67 or something one day.
Wow.
So,
yeah. So you're always fighting that slime at this time of year.
Yeah. And like I used to keep honeybees, and the big thing was like the tulip poplars would, if it frosted late and killed the blooms, there went a lot of our honey. So it's amazing how weather can affect anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see here. I want to make sure I give any last shout out. Ginger Tom, my worker, did not work out. He stuck around for about 2 months, long enough for me to get him good and trained up, and then he took off. So with no hard feelings, I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. I think driving a dump truck busted his nerves, which people don't realize the places we've got to go. I don't know. Do you get up in mountains much around your area, Mike?
Yeah, we got mountains. So basically, I'm in like a valley, which they call the Hudson Valley. From New York City all the way up it's like a bowl, and there's mountains on the west of me and mountains on the east of me. So yeah, we get into the mountain range down by Andrew, which is the Catskill Mountains. Yeah. That range is huge, and it comes all the way up to here. I'm just about to them. Like you always see them on my skyline. And those mountains, I'm telling you, are big. You got to have low gear trucks down in there, but I don't get much down in there. You know what I mean? Like, but definitely, yeah, you got to, especially towing heavy equipment and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Well, awesome, guys. This has been a blast, man. I've had a good time with you, Mike. We're going to have to do this more often. I'll give you more notice next time.
Yeah. You hit me. You text me, hey, I'm going live at 11:15. I look at my phone. It was 11:12. I was just in the office doing my sketches. You know what I mean? So I was
I was getting bored, man. Just a couple of quick shout outs. Of course, my favorite, Mike here, Dirt Boss Masonry and Excavating. Lead Earthworks recently been cutting a road in for a railroad, which I would not be lucky enough to get a job that fun. Capper Outdoors, he's doing a new pond site. Let's see here again. Skid Steer Drew, you guys check him out. After check him out. Got to check my co-host out here, of course. Let's Dig 18 doing another pond.
Yeah.
Are you guys, Mike?
He actually
started a fire in Dirt Perfect's shop. And Logger Way, guys, keep him in your thoughts and the loss of his friend. Yeah. So we love you guys. Mike, you got anything you want to add to the end here?
Nah, everybody be safe and stay warm. I know the northern guys up here, we're all cold, and the southern guys, you're hot, and I'm jealous, but everybody stay safe and have a good week.
See ya.
Happy Valentine's Day too,
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Right.